You are used to having a government telling you what to do. You're used to having, well, your family, friends, the society telling you what to do. In your job, your boss tells you what to do. And it's easier, it's you just go with the wind. But we need people taking action. No one will arrive one day miraculously and say, let's save the world, I will help you, I will do it.
Welcome to Positive Some Worlds, where we explore ambitious visions for the future and engage in meaningful action. In this episode, we explore the world of Anna Kaić and Humberto Besso. They are building Urbánika, a platform to learn and experiment how to shape our cities into regenerative spaces for all. Their low-tech methodology immerses people in the real world through a combination of online courses and real-life challenges. We have so much fake news on internet, we have so much information, and it's super hard to understand what we are going through. And I think that the person who are making impactful projects like you are the right person to discuss about this context, because it feels like you are aware of the problems of our time and you are trying to solve it. How would you describe the world as it is today?
Well, I could start with that, and I would use a bold word to describe it first, and that one is capitalism. And it's something that we see all around us. Like, we see the extreme extractivism that is present in the world. We see the over-consumerism. Like, if you think about around Christmas, and to see the need of people having a new Christmas tree every year, or having to buy a new Christmas decoration every year. And if I compare it to my grandma that still has the Christmas decoration from 50 years ago, then it's just, I start questioning, why do we need to consume so much stuff? Why do we need to buy so many things? And on the other side, we have poverty. We have extreme poverty. So we have people living and consuming too much. And on the other side, we have people who struggle and don't have funds to heat their house, don't have funds to buy a piece of bread every day. This is the reality where we live in. And on the third side, a word I would use to describe today's world is privatization. I'm from a part of Croatia that is close to the sea. And throughout my life, I have seen so many of the natural resources of my country getting privatized. I've seen so many hotels being built, and so many things that before were shared between people that are now exploited and that are now privatized, and you now have to pay to be able to use something that otherwise before was like, a free place to share a good time with your family. So these are some of the words I would describe the state of the world today, but just not to keep it this negative. I also see a spark of hope, because there are projects that see that we live in a world that has a lot of problems, but there are projects that try to also solve and give us hope and start building something new for the generations to come. This is my take on that.
Yesterday, I tweeted something about a place, a beach in Oaxaca, Mexico, that is being currently privatized. It's a natural place. It is also a sanctuary for turtles. And it is also by law a reserve. And now there is a hotel building a sustainable hotel there that has over 200 toilets, and I don't remember how many rooms and so on. And how can these places be sustainable when they are building at the front of the beach? So we need to be very aware of these greenwashers that they are talking, and they are having the narrative of regeneration. I saw yesterday also about Walmart. They have a commitment for becoming a regenerative company. But when you look through their report, you will find that there is no single word mentioning regeneration or regenerative or something similar, but they mention around 70 times the word growth. So this is something that we need to be very aware, because a lot of companies, a lot of projects are going to jump into the narrative of regeneration and not actually committing to it. And also about being positive. Every day I give thanks for the people that is around me, that the people that have supported me, and that I have also the opportunity to give back. I am grateful for being in a time of life of being able to connect through very big distances and coordinate to do better.
What is the problem that your project is solving today?
The problems are the ones of coordination, and most specifically urban coordination. So we find all these problems, that, or these words that Anna was saying about poverty, privatization, extractivism, happen in cities, and cities are the places that host the largest number of human beings in a single place. So urban places are the spots that we should focus on to bring a better world into material, into life. But these problems are failure of coordination. We are aiming for better education on governance and on peer governance, more specifically, so that we understand that we don't really need governments per se. And I believe that cities that have government as we know it is the result of not having a self-management education.
I think the easiest way to describe Urbánika, or what we want to do, is we want to turn passive citizens into active city shapers that can make use of urban commoning and Web3 technology stack to improve their city's well-being. And we describe it very shortly as an activism school. So we want to make sure that through Urbánika, people can get the right tools to make a change, while we also deliver it in a different way than the classic education system. And we have Humberto here to show the way we would like to deliver the knowledge of Urbánika. In a more interactive, in a more gamified way, so that we don't base ourselves on a PDF that you have to read, or some books that you have to be able to understand what to do.
I would like to add the technological part. We talk about urban commoning, which it's already very a whole thing. It's very complex. Then I was saying about the Web 3.0 stack, which includes artificial intelligence, distributed ledger technologies such as the blockchain, and XR, that is virtual reality, immersive environments, I would say. So these are three technologies that will enable a group of people to actually simulate decisions as cybernetics teach, but also to enable permissionless and distributed ways of coordinating, so that we do not depend on central authorities to keep governing and managing our cities. So this is why we put a focus on the Web 3.0 technological stack.
Now, I would love to hear about your personal motivations. What are your personal experiences that brought you to this project?
Urbanika is the result of many years of testing different approaches. It all began in 2015, 14, where we started, I with another team. Back then I was still in university, I believe so. It was in Jalapa. It was another city of Mexico. We started a water purification company. And we did this because we had a lot of safety problems within the neighborhood. And no one wanted to put money, like the neighbors didn't want to put money to increase the security by, for example, putting some cameras or by putting some guards or so on. And no one wanted to put money. And no one also, neither, sorry, wanted to be part of like a squad of patrolling or something like that. So people just wanted to have safety, but without actually participating nor putting money. So it was a very difficult way of solving it. I was thinking, how can we solve this? There is no impossible things on life. So we came out with the proposal of a water purification company, as it is a basic need. Water in Mexico is sold in bottles. Everyone buys water. We proposed to have 30% of the profit of the water purification company for a participatory budget for the neighborhood. So it was a success. It was a big success because people were buying something that they were using or consuming, and 30% of this were going to increasing the well-being of the neighborhood. And we were awarded by the safety, it's the, what is the name? Ministry of Security, I think, because we reduced around 70% the crime in our neighborhood. Later, we maintained 70 green areas because these green areas were clean. Now people were able to socialize because before there were no places to socialize and to meet neighbors. And after this, people were able to meet each other and know who were their neighbors. But then the Narcos came and told me in my house, hey, you gotta pay or we kill you. It was shocking because we were a very small company. We had around, I don't know, 600, 700 customers. And how did these guys came to my home? How did they found where I lived? And the only way that they found was that a neighbor told them where I live, because we were only selling to the neighborhood, not to the city. So it was very closed. And then, well, I didn't pay them. I sold everything at a 70% discount to sell it in a week. And then I moved with my family to another state where it's more safe.
Can you tell me what is the feeling when the Narcos came to you to make you stop your project?
Well, at first it was a feeling of survival, shocking. First to see a couple of guys entering my door with large guns, telling me very, very calm that I needed to pay 20,000 pesos in the next 2 weeks and monthly to keep my business running. I don't know. I was frozen. Like, I don't know how to describe it. I just got in shock. They controlled the situation, like this is their job. So I said, yes, I will have the money. They gave me 2 weeks. So I sold everything in 1 week. And I said, I won't give the money to these guys, because I was thinking what will happen with me and my family and my friends and the other members of the company. Fortunately, they were thinking that I was the only owner and that I was the only person to be involved, let's say. So my friends didn't have anything to worry about, because the Narcos thought that they were employees. That gave me more feeling of calm. So we sold everything, and we decided to not give them money. Otherwise, they will continue threatening other people, and we will just fuel them to continue their activity. And this is something that we as entrepreneurs and people that get this type of threat, we need to think about that, because if we decide to participate in their game, then we are losing by fueling them. And this is something that we rejected to keep doing.
And in the following months, how did you react after that? And when the project of Urbánika came?
I was always thinking, why? Why did this happen? And later I read about the cooperative national law, and it came to me that the problem, it was about property, because the company, it was a private company that I owned and that I was giving away money. So people thought, oh, this is a rich guy that is giving money, so he must have more money. So let's get his money. Instead of thinking, this is our company that is solving our problems and we need to protect it. So many months after, I read the national cooperative law, and then I was in love with the law. I was asking myself why I never heard about cooperatives. I studied international business. And I never got a class about cooperatives. So when I read it, I was like, wow, this is what we need. And maybe if we had the water purification company through a cooperative, it had gone in another way. So then I had the hypothesis of like public services such as water management and trash management are currently in Mexico being run through private companies. And so the hypothesis was, what if these public services were managed by a neighborhood or a cooperative of citizens? Will the quality of the service improve? Will the service be aligned with environmental goals and with social goals? Because companies are aligned just for profit. This was the question. And then I gathered a group of friends and I told them, hey, what if we go to another city which is safer than where we were before and try this? And they said yes. So we went and we were there for 2 years. We gave a training to people. The course was a 9-week training about the sustainable development goals, about agile management, about blockchain, about artificial intelligence, about urban design, circular economy, and others. Then we asked the neighbors, please create a project together and shield it or talk it, promote it with the neighbors. Developed 2 projects and we constituted a cooperative, and it is still the first cooperative for public improvement in Mexico. And then I thought that the cooperative will run by itself without needing me or my team. And that was a mistake, because even though the cooperative was constituted and there were roles and there were tasks and there was a project, people still needed somebody to give moral support by saying, yes, you can go forward, something like that. And that was something that we were missing on our knowledge. And then I went to Europe for a governance master, and I understood many more things that we were missing before. From this master and from the past experiences, Urbánika came from a spin-off of the Crypto Commons Association, which was in that moment asking for creating educational content for helping the society to transition into post-capitalism. So we mixed things and Urbánika was born.
At which moment did you meet each other, Anna and Humberto, and how did you start to work together?
I will go on that because it's very funny, because it doesn't make absolutely any sense. I was working in Estonia for a very traditional company selling Italian food, living my best life, eating mortadella and prosciutto. So I was doing marketing there, and since I was not earning that much, I was actually doing an internship. So I was getting nothing of money. I was living in a hostel that had like an apartment style I don't know, structure. So it had different floors with apartments with rooms. So you would rent a room and then you would share the kitchen and everything else. And I was there with my brother in a big room. And one day someone moved in the room close to mine, which was the smallest room in the whole apartment. So I remember seeing that someone is there and I was like, who is this person? We didn't meet each other for, I think, full 10 or 12 days because he was in quarantine for COVID. One day, this smiley Mexican come out of the room, with his mustache all the way up. And from there, well, we cooked together one day. We went dancing the second day, and the third day we were in a relationship. After that, Humberto, he was already in Web3. I had absolutely no idea of Web3. I remember on the 6th of January, 2021, I bought my first Satoshis on Binance because of Humberto. He told me, buy the dip.
Buying the dip is when the price of something goes down dramatically, and we are convinced that it cannot possibly continue going down, which creates a short-lived opportunity to buy right before the price goes up again and become ridiculously rich.
It was not a dip, but okay. And from there onwards, he was working, contributing in Fight Pandemics back then. And he started introducing me to this whole Web3 world. So we started contributing together on Proof of Humanity. I left my job in Tallinn because he decided that he would go to Madrid. So I left everything I had there, packed my bags, and moved to Madrid. And since then, we traveled like 15 countries. Past October, we were living together in Mexico. I'm now home, going back to Mexico soon, because we will start another crazy adventure throughout Latin America, sharing the knowledge of Urbánika. Urbánika was supposed to be a podcast. It was supposed to be only just a podcast. And in the end, we ended up having Humberto here dressed in a wolf and having an activism school. So it's, it has been an evolution. I'm doing the marketing in all this revolution, and I'm very happy to be here. So this is how we met. We met in Estonia, a Mexican and a Croatian, and we've been together ever since for like almost 2 years, working, living, and doing everything together. So.
Can you tell us what made you move? Like you were working in Italian food, marketing. Why so much change?
I think at the job where I was working at the moment, I was not feeling stimulated anymore. There were some toxic practices that were hurting my mental health. So when I saw the idea of moving from a country that in winter is minus 25 without daylight, having the possibility to work online, which means that I could be with my family whenever I needed to be with them. Moving to Madrid, that's my favorite city till now. Sunny Madrid, 20 degrees, living my best life. It's even cheaper than Estonia. Why not, And accompanied by Humberto. So moving from Web 2 to Web 3 has been difficult, has been a change, because you work in DAOs, you work in organizations, you don't have a boss. And especially working for impact in the real world. So I'm working on something I like. I'm working on education right now, which I'm very passionate about. It has been like a no-brainer, I just bought that ticket and I was there in no time. And I would repeat it every time. When we find ourselves stuck and unproductive and just staring at the wall, because my life was create these Instagram posts that for me didn't add any joy or value to my life. Well, now I'm here like generating Twitter posts, but at least I'm very happy to do that because I love what we're doing. That has been my reason.
So I propose to you to go through your main program course, go through the different lessons that you have. I think the first one is about the commons. We used it since the beginning of this episode, but actually it's not a word that is known by everyone. How would you explain it simply in clear words, like you were talking to a 8-year-old child, for example?
The commons are a social system, has 3 parts. And the first part is the people that has a shared purpose. And that shared purpose is the second part, which is something they want to take care, that they want to sustain, they want to benefit from, but they want to nurture. And I think that's a very important word. And the third part is the rules for taking care of it and protecting it from others wanting it to die or to be enslaved or privatized, which is a synonym. A commons is a group of people that is taking care of something they care, and that they have a structure and a way of doing it with formality, but at the same time with the sufficient creativity to enable it to evolve and to be contextual depending on how it advances on the people that gets into the commons. It's a very organic thing.
And do you have an example, a concrete example of an urban commons?
Anna and I have some friends in Chetumal that witnessed a street that was deteriorating and that was attracting crime, attracting drug dealing, and people just dying there. So it was terrible. And they clean that space, and they gather to turn that space from crime street into the most known cultural corner of the whole city. Now, this place, this urban commons, is called El Callejón del Arte, the alley of art, the alley art. And all the best cultural entertainment that the city has happens there. And it happens due to these people that gather to make it happen. And this is an urban commons. Their shared wealth is the alley and culture at the same time. And the group of people are the ones that are creating this cultural agenda, let's say. And, and the governance are the rules for operating, for allowing other people to enter, to participate, and also to not allowing others to extract value from it without adding. So these are parts of the rules they have. And this is a great example for an urban commons.
The next course is about Web3, and also you have course about digital rights and open source coordination tools. How it can help your friends to make a better urban commons.
If you think about what can make an urban commons fail, it's Moloch.
Moloch is an ancient demon that represents society's failure to coordinate. Whenever humans fall into self-destructive dynamics, where everyone loses more than they win, it is said to be Moloch's fault. Of course, this is just a playful meme used by the Web3 community to focus their efforts around a common goal, that of slaying Moloch.
So when you're not coordinated with your group, you cannot group actions to do something. So a way that Web3 coordination tools can help, and specifically open source coordination tools, they're such an amazing tool because they are free to use. Everyone can use it. Everyone can access it. We are advocates also of privacy and decentralization. We don't want our data sold to anyone. This is why we decided to include these tools that are absolutely incredible. They do the job even better than Web 2 tools, but also give you the possibility to, well, keep your privacy on check. Mm-hmm. We can forget about coordinating through a WhatsApp group that gets very messy, that people stop reading because it's too much stuff. So in order to make people more participative in doing something, the best thing is to keep things simple and organized because we are bombarded by too much stuff. So that's why we decided to include Web3 tools into Urbánika.
Also, we added these because they enable to be sovereign in some sense. These urban commons do not need anymore to open a collective bank account, which has a lot of requirements and a lot of risks and a lot of commitment that is asked to the participants, because they can fundraise through Give, for example, or Gitcoin, which are constantly evolving. And this is something that we bear in mind because the normal ways we have for fundraising are very limited. And when we approach Web3, we are reaching out to an international community of people already willing to improve the world in some sense. It's like tapping into a niche that it's value aligned and that is, mentally aligned. We changed the curricula a little bit. This is the last iteration, and it was a suggestion from David Bollier, in fact. So we are adding bioregionalism and urban commons, which is very important to put into the minds of people, so that we are not just focusing on humans, but also the stewardship of nature as commons, where many people that will take the course will find themselves willing to take care of natural places and not just social institutions that are lagging.
You talked about David Bollier, but who is he? Who is David Bollier, and how did you collaborate with him?
David Bollier is one of the top researchers about the commons. He has written a lot of books about it. He has a podcast about it, and he has a program called Program for Advancing the Commons or something like that. He has been researching the commons for more than 30 years, maybe 40 years. I will say he won't be very happy by me saying this, but I will say that he is the modern Elinor Ostrom because of the knowledge he has gathered. He has been very patient with us with this testing different approaches, different technologies, and very also open to engaging with people that he didn't know, right? Because I knew him by reading his books and listening to his podcasts, but he didn't know anything about us. And also he's skeptic about the Web3 ecosystem. So being collaborating means a lot in the sense that we are able to take the knowledge that people on field and that have been researching a lot of years, and now taking it with this kind of technologies, this kind of cultural approaches that enable other people to learn, because most people are not reading his books, let's say, or are not listening to his podcasts, because these people are engaged by TikTok or Instagram or so on. And if we manage to take the knowledge that he has gathered, and with also Silke Helfrich and other people, because we are not just focusing on him, but on people that have research about the commons or have on-field experience on the commons, to be turned into videos, then we are already making a huge impact.
I see. Yeah. And can you tell us what was the first interaction with David Bollier? You woke up a morning and you sent him a message? What happened?
I was reading his last book, which is called Free, Fair, and Alive. And when I was reading it, I was saying like, wow, this book has already managed to condense the information about how to commoning, sorry. And it is a true guide. So I was on fire looking for someone that could contact him with us. And then Rock, which is part of our team, said, "Hey, I can contact him." And he sent him an email. And David said, "Yes, I'm interested in hearing about Urbánika." And well, we are here today.
Can you tell us more about the format of your course? I think it's videos, quizzes, and challenges. Can you describe a bit and what are the benefits of that?
Yes, we will have videos. Commons 101 will be filmed with David Bollier, and then we will have different video courses on it. We are actually using a Web3 tool for quizzes. So we have a 101.xyz, which is a platform that can be used to test the knowledge on whatever subject you want. We already have some quizzes there. After you solve the quiz, you can get an NFT that proves your knowledge on a certain topic. So what we have been doing now, before we start with the whole platform, with the courses and everything, we have already started with Post-Capitalistic Adventure Path on our Twitter. Every week on Monday, we post a new video with David Bollier and Kin. And in the video, they explain actually different topics. We had the value of well-being, for example, or what are the commons.
David, what's the collective property?
Collective property, while it may have more owners, is still property, meaning people still have the right to privatize things for themselves, exploit it to make money, and ignore the larger consequences, like earth-destroying growth. Commoners want to reconceptualize property itself. They want to honor relational ways of having, you might say, forms of property that have built-in limits on use, forms of property that honor social relations, forms of property that prevent domination of others.
And to those videos, which are about 1 minute to 1.5 minutes long, we have a 101.xyz quiz. So you go there, you take the quiz, and you get an NFT. But to make things more interesting and more like out of the comfort zone, we also have in real life challenges. So we are using a platform that is relatively new. It's called Quest Chains. It's also a Web3 platform where you can solve quests. The quests we put there are, I can give you some spoilers here. For example, talk to a person of your choice or to the person that is closest to you about how we define well-being. The thing is that I talk to my aunt, for example, and those are such valuable moments because these topics are not conversational topics I would use day to day, especially not with my family members, because I'm so used to being in my Web3 bubble. So talking about these topics with someone out of Web3, out of the commons, out of region, whatever you want to call it, it's very inspiring. I had incredible chats also with my grandma. Another challenge we had was create a poster about cooperative in your city and put it somewhere where people can read about it. So I created a poster about a cooperative in my city, and then I put it on a bus stop. Now, it's prohibited to do that, so it's kind of vandalizing, but you are not, like, to put some sticking tape, you're not causing any harm. It lasted 4 days on the bus stop, and the bus stop was in front of my home. So I saw people stopping there and reading it. So this is a way of activating people and getting them to do something out of their comfort zone. And then they can upload a proof of what they did on questions, and they also get an NFT collectible for that. So it's kind of the system we have been using for now. But if you think about it, there might be a barrier, a Web3 barrier in here. Because for questions, you need to have some Matic on Polygon. For you need to have a wallet. You need to have a computer, a laptop, because those applications are not that friendly on a phone, and most people use a phone. So that's why the chatbot arrives here, and Humberto will tell you more about it.
Having a AI chatbot based game that you can interact with, and it will deliver you challenges with the course in it. So the whole course will be gamified. There are three niches, which are the policymaker, the urban activist, and the entrepreneur. As an MMORPG, you need to select a role, and then you will get challenges based on your role. But each challenge holds a module of the course, because you need to understand what the challenge is about to solve it. So we want that people not only get educated on a different way of living, but actually perform it and actually shape their city with some regenerative lifestyle. And well, the chatbot allows this because it is a WhatsApp, Telegram, Signal, browser-based chatbot. It doesn't matter where you contact it. So it allows to lower the barriers a lot. And it gives you these roles and the quests, and it doesn't need Web3 technology to do so.
We have three main niches because we have activists, we have entrepreneurs, and we have policymakers. And I would like to just stop for a second on the policymakers part, because a touching part about reading David Bollier's book was the part where he explains that we're very used to looking at the world through a window, through a certain window. And we never thought, maybe I never thought, that if you take a step back, you could see that there are many windows on that wall, that you could see the world through them. If we think about making a change, making an impact, making something different for the world, we cannot do that if the system doesn't change. We don't give policymakers the tools to create surroundings where we can actually build a different system. And this is also why we think that Urbánika's courses have to be formatted in a way that they are helpful to policymakers.
If I well understood, there is a course that is free and another one that is not free, right? And for who?
So all the materials and everything we are creating is released under Creating Commons license. So everything is open source. It can be accessed by anyone. What we are doing is that we are offering a membership with a gift economy model, where a person can become a registered apprentice, and by contributing monthly, whatever she or he can, and the contribution starts from the price of a coffee and a pastry in Mexico City, which is $4. So it's absolutely something symbolic. We don't want to create a barrier with this. It's just that it's a way to support and continue supporting what we do. But besides that, it's something that you can opt for. But besides that, you can access the other things freely.
If today people give you donations, how would you use it?
We are in needing for our own salaries. Like the last rounds are not enough for paying for everybody, and so we are highly committed to doing what we are doing in Urbánika. So we started full time, but now we are doing it almost full time, but then partially looking in other places as with the content creation. And not all the team can sustain in this way. So we will use this money for paying for salaries. The equipment, we already have it thanks to the first donations, thanks to all these beautiful people that allowed us to have the equipment for continuing creating content and educating. But what we need is just to keep running.
Can you tell us more about this team? Who are they? What are their roles? How many are you? I don't know.
We are many people, and we are all over the globe, which is a very nice thing. So we have Rodo, and he's our instructional designer. He also does video editing and video and reviewing the videos of David that David creates. The communication, promotion, and creativity part. Then we have Pedro. Rodo is based in Mexico, in Puebla. I'm based in Croatia at the moment. And Pedro, who is based in Chetumal in Mexico, is a Web3 stack researcher and tester. He's a video editor of Humberto's videos and content creator as well. Then we have Humberto. He's the project manager, the vision manager, the PR, and Web3 stack researcher and tester. He also does content creation, and he creates the quizzes and challenges. Then we have David Bollier, and he helps us a lot with video script writing. So we write everything in an exact and very clear way. He also reviews the quizzes and challenges, and he reviews the videos and records the videos and scripts. David is based in USA. Then we have Ruslan. Ruslan is based in Russia, and he does our 3D design of the scenarios, which were used within the 2 iterations of Urbánika. It was actually very funny how we arrived to Ruslan, because he just came and he was like, hey, I would like to help you build your project. And we keep using Google Translate because he speaks only Russian and we speak English and Spanish. But who says the language is a barrier? If you want it to be a barrier, it will be. If not, DeepL, Google Translate, or whatever other translator you use is of great help. Then we have Boogie. He's based in the UK. He's our 3D designer of avatars, which were used in the first 2 iterations of Urbánika. And then we have Rock. Rock is based in Slovenia, so close to me. And he is our challenge designer. So we are literally all over the world. We are a diverse team, but we managed to function together. And it's very fun to see all these different viewpoints. I think we can learn a lot from each other. So it's the plus of having an international team.
The challenges that you can face with a team which is all over the world. Can you tell us more about collaborating with a team internationally?
I think the biggest challenge that we cannot solve are time zones. So since we are spread all over the world, sometimes it's a bit challenging finding a meeting time that suits everyone. But somehow we managed to do that as well. There are tools for that as well. Somehow I have a feeling that after COVID and after we all started social distancing, I haven't used that word in a long time, but we got used to working online a bit more than before. So somehow it feels normal. And I don't see it as something challenging. The most challenging thing you can get is someone that didn't see your message and didn't answer. So you just need to send another message. But it's something that, happens everywhere, and it's completely solvable. As Humberto said, we take decisions collectively. We have our spiritual guide, the wolf you see in this call, because it's something needed, but we all feel like we participate, and we participate because we believe in the project. So I wouldn't really say there are some big challenges that we're facing because we are all over the world. Yeah.
Yeah. So what are the advantages then to be a distributed team?
Being remote, I think, helps a lot by being able to find talent and passionate people that would like to make this vision a reality.
The positive part is being able to tap into international talent. Like, it's not when you are in a company and you have your marketing strategist and you have to use that marketing strategist. Here we need a 3D designer. Okay, let's go. Let's find someone. Let's see in the ecosystems we are. Let's see in the DAOs if someone wants to join. You don't have to think about let's create a contract or the legal structure. How are we going to find this? We need to contact an HR. Is just the agile way of finding professionals, and it happens like in a week or two. We need this avatar. You find the 3D designer. The designer creates the avatar, and you have your thing done by when you need it to be done. This is in the ideal world. Then sometimes things happen, but let's leave that aside. It's the incredible way to contact with people that you would probably never contact otherwise. It's the flexibility of being able to contact them. You can just find whoever you need for your project in a matter of some hours of researching. So that's the absolute cool part. Besides that, you learn also new languages. Like when we started collaborating with Ruslan, the first thing we did, we went to Udemy Academy, and we found a Russian course just to be able to understand some words. It's cool, And then you have a home wherever you go. You have a couch to sleep on because yeah.
The most valuable thing for me is expanding the perspective that I have so that we are more prone to success by embracing the diversity.
And I would love to talk about your parallel project, which is called CivicoBus, right? Can you tell us more what is it and how it is related to Urbánika?
Yeah, it's another crazy idea. So we were thinking that doing Urbánika now is interesting and fun, but how do we bring the knowledge of Urbánika to people, like physically to people? So we thought, well, why don't we go and visit those people and bring them Urbánika, literally? The best thing we could do was buying a bus and converting it into a house, and then use it to travel toward for the next years, sharing the knowledge, starting with Latin America, and then in other parts of the world. And in this way, reaching the most remote places. Let's hope not too remote, but the places we would like to spread the knowledge about Urbánika. The project is still very ripe. Like we're still working on it. As you can imagine, it's a revolution of your lifestyle. Start living in a more nomadic way. But more information will come soon, and it's complementary because we are literally taking the knowledge to people, talking to people. The best way to share something is by talking about it, sharing it. And if it's personally, especially when we are talking about such big changes like the ones that Urbánika wants to make, encouraging people live, it's even better. So that's CivicoBus.
We are also doing this because we were thinking, okay, we are taking the knowledge physically to people, but also what we are trying our best is to make an impact on turning cities into regenerative hubs, right? There are many technologies out there. There are many methodologies out there. So we can combine the education on one side and on the other side, the technologies and approaches that have proven to work out. And as we are contacting the policymakers, the entrepreneurs, and the urban activists, then we can provide them with a catalog of climate solutions that can immediately regenerate or improve their city. And maybe this can become also a way for sustaining our trip, our lives, by directly impacting these people. Because an example will be the bus. The bus is an electrical bus that we are turning into a solar powered bus. Cities have commitments for reaching the sustainable development goals. So they need to replace their current fleet of public buses with some more sustainable ones, let's say. And what will be best that solar powered buses, right? So we are traveling with our bus and we are going to sell those buses to cities. And that way we will keep running. We will be able to have enough income to pay our bills and to feed and to continue educating, even if we don't find enough resources for the educational part. So we are finding complementary models that can sustain what is most needed, that is education. And that's why we are doing this, and it's all complementary.
We learned a lot from talking with Anna and Humberto. No matter what happens, they keep going forward. Here are the takeaways. Don't wait for anyone else to come and improve your life. We all have the power to shape the places where we live. Don't be disappointed if your first efforts come short of what you expected. Iteration is the road you must travel to reach your goals. Don't be afraid to ask people to join your adventure. You might end up collaborating with your heroes. Would you like to participate in their program to make a change in your city? Or would you like to support them with a donation? Check out the links in the description. Thank you for listening and take care.